Welcome to Top Advisor Marketing, where you will learn how to become a prolific online influencer, attract more ideal clients, and grow your practice. Brought to you by Top Advisor Podcasting, a done-for-you podcasting solution built just for trusted advisors. And now, your co-hosts of Top Advisor Marketing, Kirk Lowe and Matt Halloran.
Hello and welcome to episode number 66 with the Top Advisor Marketing Podcasts. Now, we've talked about the power of LinkedIn many times on these podcasts, and today is going to be another power of LinkedIn example. Christopher Hines and I connected not long ago, and I believe it's very important when somebody connects with you that you try to find out who these people are and really why they wanted to connect with you, but even more, is there a business potential relationship? LinkedIn is the place for business. And after looking at Christopher's bio and doing a quick back and forth messaging, I'm like, we've got to get this guy on the show. He's got a couple of areas that we're going to talk about today, which is his area of expertise. He's an entrepreneur and coach, and I'm really excited about having him on the show. Christopher, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
One of the articles that you posted recently, it talks about how to find your niche and even finding a niche within a niche. So can we start there? Because I really liked this article or in this post. You help people discover the niche, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your process or anything along those lines?
Yeah, so one of the ways I decided to give people that free value is just explain the importance of having a niche or niche, whatever you want to call it. I really like to explain to people that the more specific you can get with your niche, the easier it is to eventually sell a product, because then you can really target specific people. You know exactly who you're talking to, and market research is easier. You can really dive deep into solving their problem, because to really make money, you have to solve a problem. Mm-hmm. And the more specific you can get, you can really dial in and talk to one person. And when you go deep and really deep and consistent and like you're really in depth with it, most people look at it on a macro level. They think that, it's so many people in the world. I want to sell to everybody, when that shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be to sell to one specific type of person. And you can think that, there's only maybe 20 of these people out here, but I promise you there are millions of people in that one specific area. I have a great example of this. I know a guy who makes dog houses, but for one specific type of dog. And I can't think of the breed name, but it's only for one type of dog, and he makes six figures doing that. It's mind blowing, right? It's like, first of all, you're making six figures making dog houses. Right. That right there alone is amazing.
That's pretty impressive. I agree, Christopher.
It's amazing. And then he really narrowed it down even more and said, okay, I'm only going to, work with this one breed of dog. And, it's like having a podcast. You can talk about dogs, but if you talk about one breed of dog, now every dog owner that has that breed of dog that you're focused on, now they're extremely interested in whatever product or service you have, because you're so specific and tailored towards them.
I think it makes them feel special. Do you agree with that? That oh my gosh, this person specializes in a person just like me?
Oh, yes, for sure. I think it does make them feel special. And again, you can't look at it on this, this minuscule scale. Like, think about it like this. Every time you type a question into Google, the answer pops up before you finish it. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at the niche the same way. Somebody's in there, whether you think they are or not. It's the same thing. If somebody's in there, and it's not just 20 people or a few hundred people, there are thousands, even millions of people. I guarantee it. It's just doing research on niche and the crazy markets there are. It's amazing how deep you can go. Like, there are people in the world who study specific types of fish, and they get paid really good money to study those types of fish. And instead of talking about all fish, they talk about one specific fish.
Sure.
And that's the same way it has to be when you're selling a product or service. If you can really narrow it down and know exactly who you're talking to and the exact problem they go through, it can change the game for you.
I have had financial services professionals, Christopher, tell me that it is too limiting. How do you overcome? Yes, I mean, you've already been overcoming that objection, but let's get a little bit more clear and succinct on that. How do you overcome that, changing somebody from a macro perspective to a micro perspective?
I really like to show them numbers, like the one guy I just said about the dog. That's one case study, and It's another one, a lady that she works with dancers, and she only works with a specific type of dancer at a specific age. So it's like she's really, really specific with this. And when you go and look at her Instagram profile, you would think that, man, I wish I had her name. You look at her profile, her social media profile, you would think that, she's too specific. But the fact that she's so specific on the type of dancing and the age group, she's really found a market, and the more specific you can get, because think about it, I try to explain it this way, is it's all about solving problems. And when you can get very specific down to details about how someone might have had a frustrating day or the problems they're dealing with their dog or with their dancing, when you can speak to their problems and then show them that you solve their problems, that's how you change the game right there. So it's really about problem solving. And the more specific you get, the more detailed you are, the more problems you can solve. And when you solve people's problems, now you're giving them value that is hard to turn away from.
Now with digital media, it's much easier for us to get our thought leadership out. And financial services professionals are really no different than your friend who does, or the case study who does the specific dog houses. Obviously, unless they're living in a huge, major metropolitan area where, somebody has 1,000, Irish wolfhounds. I don't know. I'm just totally pulling that out of nowhere. I'm assuming that client of yours, or that person that sells all over the country and potentially all over the world. Financial services professionals, what we found, can do the same thing. I'm going to give you an example and just tell me what you think of this. I've got a gentleman who does nurse anesthetists. So that's all he does. I didn't really even know what that was, to be honest.
Wow.
But so they're basically the right-hand person of the anesthesiologist, right, in an operating room. All he does is target these nurse anesthetists all over the United States, and he is making 7 figures. Okay, this is a no-joke financial advisor. He's that'd be 6. So that would be 7. He's $1 million producer, so he produces over $1 million in revenue for his company every year. And 80% of his clients he does virtually. So when you're coaching, and by the way, everybody, Christopher is a coach. You can hire him to help you find out your specific niche. And I think it'd be good because Christopher hasn't broken into financial services as much as some of our other clients, which gives all of you a great fresh perspective, Christopher, a great fresh perspective on your practice, because he's not bogged down in a lot of the same limitations a lot of other financial services coaching and consulting people might have. So I'm sorry, Christopher, that was a quick plug for you. But what do you think about the nurse anesthetist? Is that along the lines of what you teach?
Yes, exactly. The fact that he's so specific, and you would even, if you ask somebody if they, if there were even services like that available for that specific job, most people would think it wasn't. But the fact that it is, now everybody who has that job, if they are looking for, that service, they know exactly where to go. Yeah. And what's even better is that guy, he's making millions of dollars because he's marketing himself now as the expert in that area. And when you run an ad on Facebook or Instagram and the market is that small, the ROI is insane. You don't have to pay a lot for, the advertising. You can pay maybe $10 and you'll be everywhere with that, because I'm pretty sure nobody is in that area. He's so specific that he can talk to all of those people in that job in America, and now they listen to him because he doesn't have any competition. The more specific you are, the less competition you have most of the time.
He's the guy. And so many people want to be the guy. Well, are you using my guy? He works with us, right? If you can get somebody to say a powerful referral statement like that, that changes the game. This guy is so in deep with these nurse anesthetists that he speaks at their National Nurse Anesthetist Convention. He's that guy. But it's taken him a long time. So, Christopher, help our audience understand, how long does it take for you to become that guy, or to really embed yourself in your niche?
Oh, wow. I'm happy you asked me that. One of the things I'm working on right now is a one-on-one coaching program where I really teach people how to become an expert within their niche. And that's one of the things you can do. You can get paid in so many different ways from being that expert in your niche. And it can take some time, but again, it depends on how specific you are. Because if you're, let's say, an entrepreneur, it'll take a long time for you to become one of these notable entrepreneurs because there's so many out there, right? But when you're like this guy and it's only, maybe 10 other people in the world that do what you do, you can climb that ladder pretty easily. So it really depends on the niche and how specific you get. Obviously, the more specific, the bigger the return you can get. That's why I explain to people that you should be as specific as possible and dive really deep into it, because there are other opportunities out there. You can get paid to speak. The advertising is cheap. Like I said, you can sell products and services. If he wanted to, he could even start a program where he taught other people how to do what he does, and build the business that way. There's so many different options where you become that expert in that one niche area. So I really just try to push the people, man, just be as specific as possible, because once you figure out who that person is you're really selling to, you don't have to sell.
And you were so spot on when you were talking about the messaging. I know exactly who I'm talking to, therefore all of my marketing material screams, in this case, we'll use the doghouse. It screams, Irish Wolfhound dog houses. And people really like it when you're talking directly to them. And I feel, especially on social, and Christopher, tell me if I'm wrong here, that if I'm not if an ad comes across my newsfeed, whether it's on Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, if they're not talking to me directly, I just kind of scroll by.
Oh, immediately. And if you think about it, that's one of the reasons that cable and traditional advertising is dying off, because we're on our phones so much, we're on these smaller screens. They had to find a different way to really reach people. And now that they can tailor the ads to what you like, what you're interested in, the system is changing, and that's part of it. And marketers and online people who make money online have to, keep up with that trend. And when you can get more specific and detailed in whatever you're saying, like you said, that copy is just so important, because if you're an entrepreneur and you want just, I coach people, like me personally, I just started off saying, I coach people. I had to get more specific, like, who do I coach? What age groups? Is it men or women? Is it college students? I had to be very, very specific in who it is that I'm helping. Because when you can get very specific in detail, now when I'm writing that sales page or when I'm writing that ad, I can speak to their problems, and talk about what they're going through or what they've been through, and then explain how my product can help them. And lastly, finish it off with how they'll be after they finish working with me.
Yeah, that result is so powerful. I remember being cornered when I ran my own coaching and consulting company for financial advisors for about 10 years. And then I moved into marketing and branding. And I remember somebody said to me, Christopher, they're like, well, who's your ideal client? I'm like, my ideal client is a woman who has her certified financial planner designation, who makes over $750,000 a year, who's been in the industry for at least 15 years, works in a major metropolitan city, and focuses highly on planning and relationships. And people would say to me, oh my God, are you kidding me? You're that specific? Now, if you looked at my book of business, it was about half women, half men. But it made even the men feel that I was so specialized and I knew exactly what I was looking for, that they felt lucky that I would take them on as a client because they weren't necessarily my ideal client. Now, most of them were they were men, but everything else was the same. And I would make those exceptions, but from a sales perspective, I would make it an exception, and people like feeling like they're the exception sometimes.
Oh, they love it. And I like to call that my exclusivity rule.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you make your product or service exclusive to a specific group of people, everyone outside of that group of people that's, basically within your niche, they want in. So now me personally as a coach, I started focusing on, more on younger people. I want to really help younger people kind of figure out their direction, their road. So that's why I teach people, if you want to make money online, I can help you become an expert in your niche. Another course, to do what you love and get paid, where I break down the steps to, finding your passion, finding your niche, your topic. How do you build an audience? How do you engage? And lastly, how do you get paid? I break that down throughout the entire course. And, it blew up so fast. It helped me a lot on Twitter and just being able to bring value to people. When I got more specific, it really it completely changed everything for me. I went viral on Twitter, where in a week, over 10 million people saw my profile.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
it was insane, and I was prepared for it. So one of the things I did, I just kind of hacked the system where now I just ask people questions. I do market research with asking questions and doing polls and, just really giving out so much free content and free value that it's hard. I don't even have to sell anymore. It sells itself.
I want everybody who's been listening to our podcast, we're 66 deep now. We've been doing this for a little over a year. Everything Christopher's saying, if you go back and listen to some of our other podcasts, so Christopher's from a newer generation, right? So he's much younger than I am and much younger than most of our listeners. He's saying the same powerful message that we've been saying on Top Advisor Marketing now for over a year. And Kirk Lowe, my partner with marketing and branding, has been saying for the last 14. If you're not doing this, you're really just missing the boat. Now, Christopher, here's what I'm going to consider the $1 million question. One, how and what went viral? And then the second part of that was when we were preparing for the podcast, you said that something was a game changer for you. Do you mind talking about both of those, please?
So the tweet that went viral, I'll read it to you. So what I started doing on Twitter is one of my ways I give away free value is I do pro tips. And it's just little small things and habits and tricks and hacks that I personally use in my life to make things better. So this is what the tweet said. Get up in the morning immediately. Don't lay in bed and look at social media. Move. Eat some fruit, work out, or meditate. This isn't fake deep. This will help you increase your productivity and have better energy throughout the day. Start your days better. And very simple, right? But that tweet has made me thousands of dollars, made me so many connections. Literally from that one tweet, people clicked that tweet and they went from there to buy a product or service. I set up maybe 25 strategy sessions. Those are my free coaching calls. Just from that one tweet, everything just blew up to like the next level. And that was part of the game changer. And which game changer do you want me to talk about that we talked about before the show?
Well, let's talk about any of the game changers, man. I think it's important for our audience to understand that there are lots of game changers from a simple tweet and maximizing your opportunity from that tweet to other forms of communication that you use or whatever. Let's just kind of keep going. We've got lots of time. So tell me what the other game changers were.
So the way I really hacked it, like kind of next level, is I noticed that on Twitter, when people see a viral tweet, the first thing they do is click on it and then read the comments. So once you click on and read that thread, I wanted people to see another tweet from mine. So I put in my free product right there, my productivity training series, and it's just a simple series, 3 different podcast episodes, like exclusive, where you only get when you sign up to my mailing list. You get a few worksheets in there too. So my mailing list, it grew from I had about 400 before that tweet went viral, and after I had over 1,000. It was insane, just in like literally one day. My phone was frozen. I couldn't use my phone at all. And my website crashed maybe 5 or 6 times. It was just a lot at one time. And another area that helped me is with podcasting. And my podcast, The Growth of Greatness, before I was doing pretty good numbers, but after that, everything just tripled. It just really, really went next level. And not only people listening, but getting more questions and people engaging with the show more, just everything about my show really went to the next level. I got a lot more interview requests, and it's been great.
Well, so what do you think what is it about podcasting? Why was that one of the game changers?
I think that this is another area in my Do What You Love and Get Paid courses. I teach people how to create a podcast, because I started my first podcast a year ago with literally nothing. I had a makeshift desk. I didn't have a microphone. I used my Apple headphones. I didn't know how to edit. My first show, it was terrible. I had about 10 episodes. I was messing up recording. My sound was bad. Obviously, I'd have a microphone. But one thing it did do is podcasting connects you with other people within your niche, within your market. And when you can sit with people who are influential, who have, more knowledge than you, more connections than you, and you interview them, you learn what they learn, you can know who they know, and you get so many opportunities from that. Podcasting is basically a form of networking, marketing, and giving away free content all at once, literally all at one time. And I think that the market people don't understand the value of a podcast. Like, it is amazing how much podcasting has changed my life. After I dropped out of college, I started my own podcast network. That's, that business was the Greatness Podcast Network was something that I put a lot of energy and effort into, and it changed my life. I shook hands with millionaires, and I didn't even have any furniture in my apartment at the time. It was amazing to me that, millionaires were emailing me and calling me and asking me, what did I do to get my podcast where it is? And, that I had become this quote unquote expert. And even you can make money from it, with sponsors. I work with a few big name sponsors, SeatGeek, QuickBooks. Our network had over 20 sponsors at one time, so podcasting is it's different level. And how we talked about advertising is changing. That's where sponsorships come in, because less people are watching TV and the traditional cable is dying. And podcasting is another form of media that people are transitioning to. Every month, I think it's like another million listeners are added to iTunes, something crazy like that. And if you are in that specific niche market, now when those people go to iTunes, they can find your show. And once you have a lot of listeners, you're really specific in your market. You're, like we said, talking about the dogs, you're still making those dog houses for that one breed of dog. Now you can have that podcast talking about breeds of dogs, and you can simply plug some product or service for dogs, sell to your audience, either through an affiliate or sponsorship. Now you're making money from your podcast. Right. That all comes from being an expert. So it's just unlimited opportunity available right now.
Yeah. Well, Christopher, we hear from financial advisors a lot that they're the best kept secret in their area. And what I'm hearing you say is by utilizing different forms of media, podcasting being one of them, that can help not only expand your initial market, but also extended markets too. Is that fair?
Oh, yes, for sure. Definitely. I think that being an expert in your area is fine, in your small town, your city, that's great. But the fact that we can make money online, let me put it this way. The reach in podcasts is so crazy that I have people around the world listening to my show. And when I say listening, I mean, it's like really impacting them where I get emails at random times. I get direct messages on Twitter and Instagram, and my show is like really touching people and changing their lives. I actually spoke to a young lady who really just loved the show from Serbia, and she will do anything to come to LA, and she wants to, act and do that whole thing in Hollywood. And she said that my show inspires her and gave her the guidance to, make the right decisions. And I love those things. That's amazing. So the reach that a podcast has, just to reach the fact that you can reach people around the world, you shouldn't limit yourself to that one city, that one area, because you can make transactions around the world. I can sell a book or a course across the world. Why not have them, get the free product across the world?
Sure. Well, it's so energy giving. And I hope everybody just noticed that massive change in Christopher's voice when he was talking about that. It's so difficult because a lot of times as an entrepreneur, you get so into the daily grind of stuff. And it's like you put energy out and energy out and energy out. You don't get a lot of energy back. And by just hearing what Christopher said there, by having his podcast that is a worldwide podcast, and he is getting messages of hope and thankfulness and gratefulness, that's such a great energy-giving opportunity, and especially in our industry, which is somewhat of a thankless industry. It'd be nice if people said nice things to you more often. So, Christopher, man, I really appreciate that. That's the golden nugget for us today on our podcast, is the idea that by giving so much stuff away, that you're getting so much energy and so much positivity and, of course, business back, that is a game changer.
Yeah, and one thing I tell people now, I used to think that selling was difficult and it was hard, but I realized that when you're selling online, it's really about giving away the free value first. So before people even ask to buy anything from me, whether it's, one of my books or a course, I give away just free content on my timeline on Twitter. I'm constantly tweeting, giving away free information. If you tweet me and ask me a question, I'll answer it. Somebody asked me, how do you make money online? I broke down the simple steps right there on the timeline. I'm not hiding any information. If you send me an email, I'll answer that. And then strategy sessions, like I said, I do free coaching calls. I'm a coach, but I still do free coaching. Like the idea that you are done doing things for free is never really an idea for me. I feel like if I can keep giving away that free content, then the products will sell itself. Because after I give away so much free information, they're like, okay, if this free information is great and life-changing, what's the service like after I pay for it?
Sure.
So then they want to buy from you.
That's right.
So my whole selling strategy now as a coach it isn't really to go out and search for clients. I just give value to people, and if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship or how to make money online, how to become an expert, reach out to me and we can get on the phone, talk about your goals, what it is that you love to do, and figure out how to get you paid from that. And that's really how the process starts with everyone. Like today, I have literally 10 sessions set up.
Oh my gosh.
I would just be on the phone all day talking to people for free.
Wow.
Like that's my selling strategy. That's worked for me. And I love it.
Simply Hoops is your Twitter handle. Is that right?
Oh, no. My Twitter handle is I'm Just Greatness. IMJUS Greatness.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was on your LinkedIn profile. Was Simply Hoops one of your old one?
Yes. That was the first podcast I had that was terrible.
All right. Well, let's go for the other one, everybody. Let's make sure that we connect with Christopher on Twitter. It's cool that Twitter is the social media of choice. Financial services professionals run away from Twitter because they don't think that people who are on Twitter have money or really need their services. What do you think about that?
I think that you can pretty much use any social media app you want to. It's all about how you use it. I would say with Twitter, you have to be active. And what I mean by that is putting out a lot of information throughout your tweets. So what you would put in a blog post, instead of putting it in a blog post that people aren't really going to read, you can tweet that information. And once you build that, that audience on Twitter, my guy, Todd Capital, he does a podcast, Todd Millionaire, and he does financial services, investing, and all of that stuff. And he built a large audience, over 6,000 engaging followers. And that came from consistently putting out educational content, because when you put out content, it has to educate, impact, or entertain. And his content is always educational, always, whether it's teaching you how to invest, what you should be saving, just giving away a lot of free information on his topic in his niche area. And it built his audience. And so I think anybody can build their audience on a place like Twitter. You just have to be giving away that free information in a different way. The infographics and the quotes that you post on Instagram, those aren't going to get you interactions. You have to really put out that free information and people will respond to it. And you respond to them, you just really interact. And when other people see that and they see what you're basically on Twitter about, then that's when they engage with you. And I think this is a big reason I think people are afraid of Twitter. It's a different sales strategy. Most people think of sales as hard selling. You have to go and send them the product and send them to your sales page. Whereas with Twitter, it's only about interaction. You should only interact with people. And then after you interact with them and you give them that free information, they will DM you. They always send direct messages wanting more because you gave them so much for free. Every single time. My direct messages have been going crazy since that tweet went viral. Like, it's just too many DMs to even answer at this point. And that's from the free information. So I would say if you're a financial advisor, definitely go to Twitter and whatever your market is, start speaking to that market, start putting out facts and information about that market. And people who are in that area, I guarantee it, they're going to find you.
Is there a phrase or something that you hold dear that keeps you this motivated and this focused?
I use my phrase, growth never stops. Okay. And I started that, back when I was a homeless college student when I was 21 and I lived in San Diego. I lived in my car for 6 months, and it was honestly one of the best times of my life, because it really showed me that I can do anything. After you make it to a situation like that where you go a few days without eating, you have to shower in public. It just changes your perspective on life completely, So really what it did to me is it changed my perspective on fear as well. So I'm not really afraid of anything at this point.
Sure.
I've kind of seen the worst parts of life. I'm from Compton, California, and, being a black man in America, like I'm really just not afraid of anything. I feel like I can do anything. And I know that with coaching, I found my purpose. This is my purpose, to bring value to other people. Just the reaction that I've gotten from people, when I wrote my first book, Major 3 Go to Your Goals, just telling a lot of my story. The reaction to that was amazing. But the reaction to coaching is 10 times that, just bringing people so much value. And I'm not always charging for it. Some people they send me long messages like telling me their life story and asking for advice. And, I answer the questions. I don't look at it as, well, you have to pay for me to even respond to you, I think it's important to really interact and work with people and put the customer first, because great customer service is the best testimonial. So for me, it's GNS, growth never stops. That's what pushes me to, really strive for that greatness every day.
And if you don't have one of those phrases, taglines, something that really is your hard reset button, I highly recommend that you do that. So, Christopher, let's do some business stuff here. What is the best? So, besides Twitter, what's your website?
My website right now is chrishines.us.
Okay, beautiful. So that's super easy. It's Hines, everybody. So Chris Hines. And if they would like to engage you, what would be the best way for them to do that? Can they do that through your website? Can they get your book through the website? Help us with that.
You can purchase the book on a website, but I would definitely say the best way to get in contact with me is to either email me at chris@growthofgreatness.com or, connect with me on Twitter, Instagram at I'm Just Greatness. I'm really good at responding to people. It may take a while, but I'm good at responding to you. And that's really how I sell the courses and other products and services. I do have a great one-on-one coaching program where I really take you on that journey, from right now where you're just interested in doing something, you're a financial advisor right now, but you really want to find your target market, find your niche, and find how you can really, really sell yourself. And I can help you, really become that expert that you want to be and help you make money from it in more ways than one.
Magnificent. Well, Christopher, thank you so much for being a guest on our show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Awesome. Well, this was episode number 66 with the Top Advisor Marketing Podcast. For Kirk Lowe and all of us at Top Advisor Marketing, this is Matt Halloran, and we'll see you on the other side of the mic very soon.
Are you ready to change the way you communicate with your clients? Are you tired of being the best kept secret in your area? Learn how to become a prolific online influencer, attract more ideal clients, and grow your business. Contact us today and see what the power of podcasting can do for your business. Click on the Contact Us link on our website at topadvisormarketing.com and set up a call to learn more. Follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook for more updates and information.